Hi, my name is Andrea, and this is an intro to what my classes feel like in your body. We'll be needing a space on the floor, like a yoga mat. It's going to be around 10 minutes, and we're just going to explore. So, we're going to start in walking, and we're going to actually use a little bit of imagination. As you're walking into the space of my class, you see all of these beautiful people who have become your friends after a couple of weeks, and you chat, check in how your day was. You feel safe and loved and supported, and you feel friendship. And so as you walk around, notice how your feet touch the floor and how confident you feel in gravity as you walk around. Now come to lay on the floor and taking a moment just to land on the floor and noticing like how much do you feel, like what do you feel touching the floor, like your back, your arms, your pelvis, your legs, your head, your heels. And just notice also, like, is there a sort of length, a sense of length between your feet and your head, sense of length? And is there a sense of width to you, like as if you are thick, made of bones and tissue and organs and liquid, fascia, muscles, all of these delicious things, like a sense of width to you. You can also notice the movement of your breath by placing one hand on your chest, one hand on your belly. And just tuning in even to the sensation of your hands on there if there's any movement happening. If you could allow for some movement, if you could soften somewhere, there could be potential for movement in your chest and belly. And come to bend your legs and have your feet standing on the floor with your knees bent and you're still laying down. Begin to play with rocking your pelvis as if your lower back comes a little bit more towards the floor and then your upper back lifts a little bit from the floor. And then just playing with rocking back and forth between these two places. Really just noticing and seeing if you can like what is the amount of effort that you're putting into this, and finding a way to actually like remove the effort so that it becomes really easy. It's hardly anything. It's no work, and you could almost do this all day if you wanted to. So it's really, really easy. And so that's kind of what we do in my class. We really take movements that are very simple and something that we do all the time. Your pelvis moves in this kind of way all day. So we're moving and we're listening to what we're doing. Now, as you are rocking your pelvis, notice that as your upper back comes away from the floor, your tailbone comes a little bit closer to the floor. And then in the opposite, as your lower back comes towards the floor, your tailbone lifts from the floor. And if we started to imagine that your pelvis was a bowl, right, that your pelvis, as you bring down one side, the other side comes up, and vice versa. As your lower back comes towards the floor, your tailbone lifts. As your lower back comes away from the floor, your tailbone comes towards the floor. Notice if you can sense any difference between the left and the right side, as if there's a little bit more of you touching the floor on the right side or the left side. So come to notice that and really just see if you can bring your attention into that. You might even sense that as you tilt towards one side, maybe your back touches more to the floor, you might actually notice that as your lower back comes closer to the floor, one side touches a little bit more, either the right or the left. As you tilt your pelvis towards your tailbone in the opposite way, the right or the left side might touch the floor more, and it might be the opposite. See if as you do this, you can pay attention to that and feel into the fact that you go more into one side than the other, and just feeling the difference between the right and the left side as you do that. Maybe your left side feels higher from the floor than your right side, or vice versa. Just noticing that and being with it. And now, just seeing if you can actually make the movement a little bit smaller and start to see if there's any possibility for ease. Just noticing how it is that your spine moves, what actually you're doing with your breath. If you are holding your breath at any moments, or if you are stopping any kind of movement anywhere, maybe in your chest or maybe in your arms. If you notice, even if you're holding your jaw tight, or if you're closing your eyes really tight, or if there's this energy that exists in you that has nowhere to go, you can just notice that and play with it and check it out and just see it and exist within it. And just take a moment now, just lay your legs back long from the floor. In my classes, we also take a lot of breaks. So just have your legs long on the floor and see if you can notice any kind of difference, whether good or bad, to your experience on the floor. Something about your legs, the quality of your legs, the quality of your upper back on the floor. Sometimes we can actually come into more experience that might not necessarily be good or positive, but it's just a noticing like, oh wow, I really feel like my right leg is really on the floor. And I didn't notice that before. So that's something that's coming in to existence for you. And then just bring up your legs again for a last little check-in. And bring your pelvis to rock in this sort of way between your lower back and your tailbone. So you bring your lower back to the floor, and then you kind of tilt in the opposite direction to bring your tailbone closer to the floor. And just notice if something about that has changed for you. Great. Lean your legs towards the right or towards the left and find a way to come onto your side, come into your knees, and then come up to stand. That feels like a good way for you to do that, or come to stand in whatever way feels safe for you. And walk around just gently. And as you walk around, just compare, is there anything different between your walking, whether it's just more awareness, right? That's what we're seeking to build in these classes. We really just want to become aware of what's going on in your system. If you like this lesson, my classes are an hour long. They happen hybrid, online and in person in Montreal. And I have drop-in days every 2 months. So you can come and check it out.